Gate City comes in the contest 14-4, 13-0 in the LPD. Regular season champion there. Dobyns Bennett 18-8 and 9-2 in the Big Seven. They're tied for first with Science Hill and Tennessee High. On January 17th, DB won at Gate City 68-63. Last night they beat the other DB in the area, Daniel Boone, 66-51.
So tonight, the Blue Devils and the Indians. It will be for Gate City, Drew Scott, Will and Luke Humphreys, Jesse McMurray, Nate Clark. For the Indians, it'll be Thomas Harrison to jump against Drew Scott, tip up controlled by Harrison.
Also starting Blackwell, Throp, Morrison, Harrison for the Indians.
So the Indians with it, and they lose it out of bounds. So it'll belong to the Blue Devils off the DB turnover.
Next for Gate City off to Powell Valley Friday night. 4 games beginning at 5 o'clock. Next game after that, 7 o'clock, Gate City girls basketball at home on Monday.
So the Blue Devils with it. Drew Scott has it, gets it over to Nate Clark. Nate drives, gets it back to Scott. Thought about the three, drives, gets it down low. Will Humphreys, shot up, blocked away. Humphreys gets it back, goes up, shot blocked again. Coming out of there with it, Harrison for the Indians. Harrison runs the floor, drives all the way down. His shot up off the glass, no good. Tipped around, no good. Goes off the Indians out of bounds. No, we're going to say off the top of the head of Luke Humphreys. So it'll belong to the Indians. No score, 7-12 to go here in the first quarter, just underway. The Indians will have Walker Throp to work it in. Right of his own bucket. Throp gets it in to Blackwell. Now swinging around over there to Morrison. Now here's the shot by Throp for three, no good. Rebound Drew Scott for the Blue Devils. Scott, long pass in front court to Luke Humphreys, drives for the layup, good. Luke Humphreys with the bucket, and the Blue Devils lead 2-0. Throp has it, gets it to Harrison. Now right side, that's Blackwell. Blackwell to Morrison. Morrison has it between the rings, puts it on the floor, drives in the lane, gets it back over to Blackwell. His jumper up and no good. Rebound lost out of bounds by Morrison. It'll belong to Gate City. 2-0 to score. Gate City leads. Marquis Step set to check in.
You mentioned tournament action. Gate City boys host a game Tuesday. Of course, bonus both Monday and Tuesday to be announced.
McMurray in backcourt with it for the Blue Devils. Gets it ahead to Eastep.
He's grabbed.
Well, he's at least tripped. Gate City still comes out there with the ball. That's Will Humphreys. Gets it to Nate Clark. Nate has it. Drives down around the lane. His shot up, no good, but he's fouled. Foul on the Indians will be on 32. That's Dave Begley. Foul on Begley's his first. And the Blue Devils have Nate Clark shooting too. Clark's first free throw on the way and good. 3-0 to score. Gate City leads here early. 6:23 to go, first quarter over the Indians. Clark's second free throw, also good. 4-0 to score. Throp with it in backcourt. Throp has it across the timeline. Now picks up his dribble, gets it to Harrison. Now swinging around Blackwell. Down low Begley. His shot off glass, no good. Rebound Eastep for the Blue Devils. Eastep gets it ahead to McMurray. Jesse up the left side with it. Double team, gets it to Luke Humphreys. Luke has it between the rings. Right side Eastep, right corner Will Humphreys. Will looks for Luke, can't get it to him. Swing it back out to Nate. Nate Clark with it. Left side now, that's Eastep. Back out to McMurray. He'll shoot the three. Shot no good. Rebound fought for. Coming out there with it, Blackwell for the Indians. Blackwell across the timeline quickly. Gets it to Morrison. Swinging around to Throp. Back to Blackwell, left corner. Blackwell gets it to Harrison. Harrison's baseline jumper up. No good. Rebound Clark. Clark for the Blue Devils runs the other way. Clark has it, puts it on the floor, leaves it off for McMurray. McMurray drives it into the lane, stops, pops, 12-footer, no good. Rebound tipped around, coming out of there with it, nobody, as it goes out of bounds off the Indians, and it'll belong to Gate City.
Charlie Morgan, coach here. Dobyns Bennett.
Zach Jones, Drew Scott into the lineup for Gate City. Will and Luke Humphreys out. Clark on the inbound. Lobs it in here to McMurray. Gets it to Scott. 4-0, Gate City leads, 5:10 to go first quarter. Scott puts it on the floor, takes it to the hole. His shot up off the glass, good. No, we're going to call the offensive foul on Drew Scott. Wiped off the bucket, foul on Drew will be his first. Don't know about that one.
I don't either. Those of you might recall Charlie Morgan from his coaching days in Salem.
And he coached under Coach George Pitts at Science Hill before that. So he's Marquise an offensive makeup call will be called on Jamie Creech, the offensive foul. So the Blue Devils have it, leading 4-0. Inside 5 minutes to go first quarter. Clark for Gate City has it, head of the key. Hits it down low. McMurray shot up, missed it. Harrison. We had a chance to have a pretty good lead here with DB not shooting the ball too well. Harrison has it, gets it right of the lane. Now back to Throp for three. Shot Throp, missed everything. Clark catches it. Clark lobs it down for Estep. Estep drives to the bucket. Good. Mark Estep with the bucket.
There's your pretty good lead.
6-0. Gate City leads, 4.5 to go first quarter. Left side with it. Blackwell gets it down to Harrison. Back to Blackwell. Blackwell has it now. Swing it around to Creech. Now get it right side. Walker Throp. Throp lobs it to Harrison. Harrison backs it back out. Back to Throp. Gate City doing a pretty decent job defensively here. Pushing Dobyns Bennett. Now here's Harrison along the baseline. That should be two shots or 2 points, and it's going to be 2 shots as the Blue Devils will commit the foul.
0-0.
Nope.
No.
Drew Scott, I believe. 22. Is that what they're going to post?
Yes.
And that foul on Drew's his second. That's not good for the Blue Devils.
That's way too early for that.
Free throw Harrison way short. No good. So the Indians still without a point. 3:58 to go here in the first quarter. 6-0. Gate City leads. Harrison's second free throw is good. So DB on the board, 3:58 to go. They trail 6-1. Gate City with the lead and the basketball. This is Nate Clark. Clark with it, puts it on the floor, drives, kicks it over to Scott. Open for the three. Shot Drew Scott, good. Drew Scott for three, and the Blue Devils lead 9-1. Quickly the other way. Here's Blackwell with it, drives in the lane, ball stripped away. Coming out there, Throp. Open for the three. Shot Throp, no good. Rebound fought for. Throp runs it down in the corner. Gets it off to Harrison. Harrison turns, shoots, scores. Harrison with
and he knocked down Nate Clark in the process.
That's a pretty good no call. Scott for the Blue Devils. Gets it over to Humphreys. Back to Scott. Takes it the hole. Shot up. Good. And that's a good no call too.
As Tritipo went down.
Especially for the Blue Devils, because that would have been Scott's third. We certainly can't afford that. Tritipo with it. Now Harrison. Harrison down low. His shot along the baseline. Good. Well, I wonder when they were going to post him up down there.
He was the guy that was hard to stop in Gate City.
And a technical foul will be called on Coach Charlie Morgan.
I think he wanted to charge on the other end.
That's the only charge he's going to get with his visa, because that's he didn't get it. We didn't get one on the other end. And anyway, technical foul on Coach Morgan.
Gate City jumped out to 11-4 lead on DB. With 4:19 to go in the first quarter. Back in January at home.
Nate Clark shooting the 2 free throws. Hits the first. Clark has his second on the way, and it too is good. So Gate City will have possession of the basketball, leading 13-5. Coach Morgan might have done that more to enthuse the troops than anything else. 13-5, Gate City leads, 2:52 to go first quarter. Luke Humphreys to throw it in. Luke gets it into Mike Murray. Jesse will bring it across the timeline. Jesse gets it to Luke Humphreys. Luke has it out between the rings, guarded out there by Tredipo. Humphreys, head of the key, gets it right side, McMurray. McMurray stands now, has it out the center court circle, drives around Throp, leaves it off down low for Humphreys, shot up, blocked away. Coming out of there with it, the Indians, that's Creech. Creech has it left side, now circles back out front, gets it to Harrison along the baseline, and the foul will be called on Luke Humphreys. Foul on Luke's his first, team's third. 13-5 a score, Gate City leads. 2:14 to go here in the first quarter. The Indians have it on the inbounds. Here's the lob to Harrison out in the center court circle. Harrison gets it over to Blackwell. Blackwell drives to the baseline, cut off, circles back out right side. 5-second count on. Creech has it. Creech back to Blackwell. He'll shoot the three. Shot no good. Rebound Harrison, the long rebound. Harrison turns, can't shoot. Swinging around now down low to Tredipo, and Tredipo will be fouled by Logan Bateman. Foul on Logan's his first, team's fourth.
Bateman tried to reach in and slap the ball away. He did, but
must have got him on the arm. Nate Clark in for the Blue Devils.
Bateman out.
Throp the inbounds for the Indians. Throp gets it in here to Creech. Back to Throp, right side. Throp drives, pulls up, 16-footer no good. Harrison tips it out of bounds. It belongs for the Blue Devils. So Gate City leads 13-5, 1:41 to go here in the first quarter, and they have the basketball. Here comes the full court pressure by the Indians, man to man. Now here comes the trap. Clark's going to be trapped in backcourt. Now gets it ahead to Humphreys to E-step, back to Clark. Nate has it for Gate City. Loses control of it, now picks it up, gets it to McMurray. Minute 20 to go first quarter. Jesse gets it over to Nate Clark. Nate gets it into the lane to Luke Humphreys, back to Nate. And we'll have a timeout. Timeout on the floor by the Blue Devils. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
5. Gate City leads here at Dobyns Bennett.
And the Blue Devils will have the basketball. Minute 12 to go, first quarter. Luke Humphreys set the inbounds. Here comes a screen from Wheel to get McMurray open. And McMurray has it. Gets it over to Luke Humphreys. Back on top, McMurray. McMurray puts it on the floor. He'll shoot over Throp. No good. Rebound. E-step had a hand on it. Coming out of there with it, Indians, Thomas Harrison. Harrison gets it over to Creech. Inside a minute to go here, first quarter. Morrison for the Blue Devils gets it to Harrison. Harrison turns, spins, shoots, misses, rebound, tip. Nate Clark has it for Gate City. Clark with 40 seconds to go. First quarter, Devils on top 13-5. Clark has it, gets it to McMurray. Now left corner, that's E-step, back to McMurray. Gate City may hold it for the final shot. We'll see. 25 seconds to go, first quarter. Clark, cross-court pass to E-step. E-step has McMurray cutting through, can't get it to him. E-step in the corner. Hands it off to McMurray. 10 seconds to go. Now the play starts with McMurray. McMurray, spin move, stops, pops, has the ball stripped away by Throp. Ball on the floor. McMurray has it. Gets it to Nate Clark for three, but that's after the buzzer. So 1 quarter in the books here at Dobyns Bennett, and the Blue Devils lead the Indians 13-5.
13-5. Gate City leads after 1. As I mentioned earlier, they led at home over DB 11-4 with 4:19 to play in the quarter, but DB led after 1, 18-16.
Blue Devils lead here 13-5 with the basketball. McMurray has it, launches a...
Get in there.
Close. Shot that one a little long. Coming out of there with it, Blackwell for the Indians. Blackwell gets it over to Morrison. Morrison has it, right side. Gets it in the corner to Harrison. Harrison has it, lobs it over here to Morrison. Morrison puts it on the floor, drives down, his reverse layup, good. Jeff Morrison with the bucket. And there's the ball on the floor, coming out there with it, the Indians. This is Morrison with it again. Morrison drives, gets it back to Throp. Now Tritipo. Tritipo drives down, shot up good, and he's fouled.
Somebody fired up the Indians.
Foul is on 10. Logan Bateman, his second. And Philip Tritipo will be trying to complete the three-point play. I'd say Coach Morgan had a little word there.
Jones in for Will Humphreys.
So Tritipo, free throw on the way. No good. Rebound the Blue Devils. That's Bateman. Gets it over to McMurray. 13-9. Gate City leads. 7 minutes to go first half. Bateman for the Blue Devils. Has it. Now out on top. Scott to McMurray. McMurray in the corner. Drew Scott. He'll shoot the three. Shot no good. Rebound Tritipo. Tritipo gets it over to Blackwell. Blackwell stops right side Morrison. Back to Blackwell. Blackwell gets it to Tritipo. Tritipo down low. Harrison for the layup. Good, and it's fouled. And I believe that may be on Luke Humphreys. It is, and that's Luke's second. So Harrison with 7 points, looking for his 8th.
Gate City led 13-5 with 2:14 to go in the first quarter.
Now back to Throp, swinging around Jeff Morrison, open for the shot. Shot Morrison, no good. Rebound Nate Clark, and who was that? Blackwell. And it goes off Blackwell out of bounds. Chris Kilgore into the lineup for Gate City. Also, Jesse McMurray back in. 16-14 the score, 5:14 to go first half. Just joining us, the Blue Devils without the services of Derek Smith, who's on the sick list tonight. Will Hubbard has a bad ankle. Of course, Josh Kilgore also with a bad ankle. So playing a little undermanned here. Not a little, a lot. McMurray for the Blue Devils has it. Gate City leading by 2, inside 5 to go first half. McMurray gets it over to Chris Kilgore. Kilgore puts it on the floor, gets it out front to Nate. Nate to the foul line to East Step, now to McMurray. McMurray drives in, gets it back to Nate Clark. Nate, right side now, Chris Kilgore. Chris throws it away. Stolen away by Morrison. Shot off the glass, good. And a breakaway layup. And we're tied at 16. McMurray has it for the Blue Devils. Now Clark between the rings. Clark puts it on the floor, drives down, leaves it off for Eastep. Gets Harrison in the air, shot Eastep, good. Mark Eastep uses the glass, gets the bucket, puts Gate City back on top. 4:10 to go here in the first half. Walker Throp has it, gets it down low for the shot up off the glass, good by who is that?
32 Begley.
Dave Begley with his first points. And we're tied at 18. McMurray with it for Gate City. It's over here to Clark, right side. Now to McMurray. What are we going to have? Foul on the Indians. Away from the ball. 20. Walker Throp picks up the foul. Foul on Throp's his first. That'll be the team's third.
Creech checks in for the Indians. In for Throp.
Clark and Eastep check out. Bateman and Luke Humphreys into the lineup. Jesse McMurray with it for Gate City in a tie game at 18. McMurray out on top. Bateman now left side. That's Humphreys. He'll launch a three. Shot Humphreys short. Kilgore had a hand on it. Saves it back in to Will Humphreys. Will gets it out to McMurray. McMurray stops, pop 16-footer good. Jesse McMurray on the board, his first 2 points, and the Blue Devils back on top 20-18. Creech has it, picks up his dribble, gets it left side, Blackwell. Blackwell walks the mile, no foul. Gets to Harrison Morrison at the foul line, and he's fouled by Will Humphreys.
Well, if you see that, why can't you see a walk there?
Foul on Will's his first, team 7th, so that'll put Jeff Morrison, I believe. It's Morrison will be shooting 1 and more.
There's 14 fouls on the Indians.
So Morrison, free throw on the way and no good. Rebound Will Humphreys for the Blue Devils. Will gets it over to McMurray. Gate City leads by 2, 3 minutes to go first half. McMurray with it, swinging around now between the rings. That's Will Humphreys to Bateman. Bateman has it, gets it right side now to Luke Humphreys outside the arc. Luke puts it on the floor, picks up his dribble, tosses it back to McMurray. McMurray has it, right side, now right baseline. His jumper from the baseline up, no good. Rebound Harrison. Harrison for the Indians gets it over to Blackwell. Quickly in front court, here's Morrison. Morrison back to Blackwell. He'll launch a 3. Shot Blackwell, good. Ryan Blackwell with 3, and Dobyns Bennett leads for the first time tonight at 21, 22-25 to go first half. McMurray for the Blue Devils gets it to Humphreys, now Chris Kilgore with it. Chris picks up his dribble, needs help. Somebody's got to come to him, and we've got a timeout. Timeout on the floor by the Blue Devils. It's Dobyns Bennett 21, Gate City 20. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
21-20 DB leads.
And Gate City has the basketball. Nate Clark with it. Now Drew Scott has it. Scott for the Blue Devils in front court. Gets it back to Clark. Clark has it. 2 minutes to go first half. Nate gets it on top. McMurray. He'll launch a 3 from the head of the key. Shot no good. Rebound fought for. Humphreys has it for Gate City. Humphreys shot up no good. He'll be fouled by Harrison. Thomas Harrison picks up his first.
Will flanked by 2 Indians. He just hung tough and came away with it. The rebound.
And Will will shoot 2. Gate City's been outscored 16-7 here in the second quarter. Free throw Will Humphreys, good. Substitutions for the Indians.
Throp and Tritipo.
So we're tied at 21, 1:52 to go first half. Will Humphreys can give the Blue Devils the lead back, which he does. He rattles in the second free throw. The Indians with it. Creech gets it to Harrison. Harrison between the rings with it. Now right side, that is Throp to Blackwell. Swinging around here to Creech. Looks for Harrison. Can't get it to him. Backs it back out. Now right side Blackwell. Blackwell with it. Over to Creech. Creech reverses back between the rings. Now back to the left. Gets down low. Harrison. Ball on the floor. Thrown away. Luke Humphreys for the Blue Devils. Luke gets it over to McMurray. 1:20 to go first half. Gate City on top by 1. 22-21. Nate Clark for the Blue Devils. Gets it to McMurray, who has it go off. I thought went off of McMurray, actually.
I did too.
But I guess it didn't.
Well, they missed the foul, so they well let Gate City have it back.
I think Jesse Mike got held a little bit when he. But anyway, matters not as Gate City has the basketball. That's Luke Humphreys with it. Clark head of the key. Clark 15-footer in, out, no good. Tough luck there. Harrison has it. 45 seconds to go. Gate City leads by 1 here in the first half. Walker Throp with it. Throp spins. Can't shoot. Dishes it off to Creech. Creech has it right side. Gets Scott up in the air. Gets it to Harrison. Boy, they all look for Harrison. Here's Creech's jumper. No good. I can see why they do, too. Nate Clark pulls the boards out for the Blue Devils, and 25 seconds to go. Gate City, we may just have to hold it for the final shot here. Drew Scott for Gate City stands out near the timeline with it. Gets it over to Clark. 10 seconds to go. 9, 8 seconds. Here's Clark, hands it off to McMurray. He's left alone for the three. Will it go? No, it won't. Rebound tipped around, coming out of there with it, Jesse McMurray. McMurray will launch a long three, which is no good as the first half comes to an end. So one half in the books here in Kingsport, and it's the Blue Devils 22, the DB Indians 21.
My name is Krista Shelton, and I'm a junior at Gate City High School. The GCHS girls and boys basketball teams would like to thank the following sponsors for their support of the efforts of GCTV. Daugherty Brothers Chevrolet, Delegate Terry Kilgore, Fairway Ford and Volkswagen, Farm Bureau Insurance, Jackson Street Formals, Law Office of Jeff Hamilton, Mark's Hardware, Scott County's Long Distance, State Line Graphics, Weber City Drug Center.
School Sportsman Banquet honoring the 2003 state championship Gate City High School football team will be held on Sunday, February 29th at the Meadowview Conference Center beginning at 2 p.m. Tickets are $20 for adults and $10 for children ages 6 to 12. Those wishing to attend, the high school is asking, would you please purchase your tickets by February 24th? And again, that is Sunday, February 29th at the Meadowview Conference Center beginning at 2 p.m.
Set to begin the third quarter. Gate City leads 22-21 over the DB Indians, and DB will have the ball to start the second half. Ryan Blackwell has it. Gets it over to Dave Begley. And swinging around Harrison back to Blackwell. Blackwell has it. It's the sideline. Now in the corner to Begley, back to Blackwell. Blackwell between the rings, now gets it right side Morrison, hounded there by Scott. Morrison puts it on the floor, gets it down low to Harrison, or Begley, back to Morrison, and he's fouled.
I bet they're going to say 22, and that's not good.
No, that's not good for the Blue Devils. Drew Scott picks up his third. Team's first here in the second half. So the Indians with it. That's Morrison. Morrison gets it back right side Throp. Throp can't shoot. Ball on the floor. Harrison comes up with it. Harrison lobs it back to Throp. Throp out near the center timeline. Behind the back dribble. Now gets it right side Blackwell, who's guarded there by McMurray. Blackwell now gets it left side Morrison. Morrison gets it down low to Harrison. His jumper up, no good. Rebound. Scott had a hand on it. Blackwell knocks it out of bounds. It belongs to Gate City. 7:10 to go. Third quarter. Gate City still leads DB 22-21. Neither team scoring here in the second half. Scott gets it back to Clark. Gets it in front court now to McMurray. McMurray to Scott. Scott puts it on the floor. Left side now, Nate Clark. Nate gets it to Humphreys, and it'll be tipped out of bounds, trying to get it back to Clark by Blackwell.
Still 22-21 Gate City.
McMurray with it for Gate City. Gets it in the corner to Clark. Clark hits it to McMurray, back to Scott. Scott skips it across to Luke Humphreys. Now to Clark, open for the three. Nate Clark's three, no good. Rebound, Luke Humphreys had a hand on it. Saved back in, but it goes off of Luke Humphreys. Good job there by Begley to throw it off Humphreys, and it'll belong to the Indians. We've played a minute and a half here in the third quarter, and neither team yet to score. Still 22-21. It's the Blue Devils leading. Begley has it for the Indians, gets it over to Morrison. Morrison guarded by Scott, head of the key. Now Blackwell right side with it. That is Throp down low to Harrison. He's double teamed, kicks it back to Throp. Throp drives into the lane. His shot over Scott, no good. Rebound Morrison, skies for it. Morrison is fouled by Luke or Will Humphreys. 30 is Will. That's Will's second. Team second here in the second half. So the Indians will have it on the inbounds. Throp to throw it in. Throp lobs it in here to Morrison. Morrison has it head of the key. Now backs down to the foul line. Now back out to the head of the key. Center stripe with it now. Throp. Throp gets it over right side Morrison. Morrison out on top between the rings. That's Harrison. Now lobs it to Begley. Left of the lane. Back to Throp. Now to Morrison. In the lane to Harrison, kicks it back out. Open jumper for three, no good. Rebound Luke Humphreys for Gate City. Luke gets it over to McMurray. McMurray rips a pass in front court to Scott. Scott puts it on the floor, drives, leaves it off for Will Humphreys in the lane, gets it over to Clark. Clark open for the three. Will it go? No, it won't. Rebound Harrison. Let's see a couple of good looks at the bucket here. Just been unable to score. Of course, neither is DB. 5:20 to go. Third quarter, still scoreless in the second half. Here's Harrison, shot up, no good. He'll be fouled by Will Humphreys, and that's Will's third. So.
And Will says, I was just standing there with my hands up.
He was, but he also kind of threw his lower body into him a little bit too. So Harrison will be shooting 2 for DB.
They list Harrison at 6'4".
Thomas Harrison, 10 first half points, misses the free throw. So both teams still scoreless here in the second half.
Jones and he step in for Scott and Will Humphreys.
So the Indians can tie on Harrison's second free throw, which is good. So Harrison hits the second. We're tied at 22, 5:15 to go, third quarter. For the Blue Devils, Nate Clark stands in the center circle now. Has it, looks to the right side. There's McMurray cutting ahead of the key, can't get it to him now. Right of the lane, here's E-Step. E-Step, little 13-footer, no good. E-Step fights for the rebound. Big Zach Jones comes up with it for the layup, good. So the Devils back on top, 24-22. Tredipo has it, gets it to Harrison, and they're going to say he's going to be fouled by Luke Humphreys. Foul on Luke's his third. Gate City getting in some foul trouble.
With a short bench.
Yes, with a very short bench. If you just joined us, Derek Smith out sick tonight. Will Hubbard has a bad ankle, and of course Josh Kilgore still has the bad ankle from last week. So Blue Devils only with 9 playing here tonight. Tredipo has it in for the Indians. Gate City leading by 2. Doing a really good job considering the game last night and being shorthanded here tonight. Here's the ball thrown away. Nope, tipped out of bounds by the Blue Devils.
They say E-Step got a hand on it.
So Morrison to throw it in, does so to Harrison. Harrison waits to hand it off. Well, now maybe he won't. Puts it on the floor, drives, leaves it off down low. Shot up, no good. Foul called on the Blue Devils. Who will it be, on Clark or Luke Humphreys? Well, let's see. Is it 14 or 15? It is 1. Your guess is as good as mine. We'll post it to Nate Clark, which is good for the Blue Devils. It had to be a foul because that's only Nate's first. Jeff Morrison shooting 2 for the Indians. First free throw, Morrison, is good.
I want to remind you, tickets are on sale for the Gate City Football Banquet to be held February 29th at Meadowview. You can get tickets in the main office of the high school during normal school hours.
Morrison's second free throw is also good. So we're tied at 24, 4:20 to go here in the third quarter. Clark with it for the Blue Devils. Has it right side to E-Step. E-Step puts it on the floor, picks up his dribble, gets it to Luke Humphreys. Luke, now right side McMurray. Long three by McMurray, way short. Harrison catches it with it in front court. Here's Throp. He'll shoot a long 3. Shot good. There's that Morrison. No, that's Throp. Throp for 3, and the Indians their biggest lead of the night, 3, and Gate City throws it away. Morrison catches it, asks for timeout before he steps out of bounds. 27-24, Indians lead. We'll be back. Leads 27-24. And they have the ball off the Blue Devils turnover. DB's biggest lead of the night is the 3. Here's Creech, loses control of it, picks it up, gets it out here to Throp. Throp with it for the Indians. That's it right side to Creech. And there's Harrison along the baseline. Harrison has it, and he loses it out of bounds. So the Blue Devils get it back off the turnover.
You mentioned the football banquet tickets. They're $20. It's at 10 for children 6 through 12. Again, the banquet at Meadowview on the 29th.
And everybody needs to get tickets to that and go if at all possible. It'll be a great day to celebrate the Blue Devils state championship.
And I'm sure great food too.
So Gate City with it here, trailing by 3. Luke Humphreys has it to McMurray. McMurray out on the floor now, gets it to Scott. Scott has it right side, lobs it down low. Zach Jones shot off the glass.
That's a great feed.
Yep.
That's a way to work the basket.
Yep. Zach cut to the bucket. Scott found him for the layup. 3 minutes to go, third quarter. Devils within 1. Throp for the Indians. Gets it over here to Blackwell. Down low, Harrison. Harrison kicks it back out. Throp open for the 3. Shot no good. Rebound Zach Jones for Gate City. Harrison takes it away. Harrison falls down. Throws it to Jesse McMurray. So McMurray with it for the Blue Devils is fouled by Walker Throp. I wonder when they're going to call them for that. They've got us for 1 or 2 of them. Will Humphreys for Luke Humphreys for the Blue Devils. So it's Will Humphreys, Zach Jones, Nate Clark, Jesse McMurray, Drew Scott on the floor. Scott inbounds to Clark in backcourt. Devils can take the lead with a bucket, trailing 27-26, 2:30 to go, third quarter. Low scoring game. Clark gets in the corner to Scott. Scott puts it on the floor and throws it away. Well, Harrison had a hand on it. Thought he was going to be able to stay in bounds, but lost possession. So, belongs back to the Blue Devils. Scott to throw it in, gets it into Clark, front court. Nate has it. Gets it over to McMurray. Now swinging around left side, Scott. Scott puts it on the floor, takes it to the baseline, cut off there, can't shoot, gets it back to Zach Jones. Jones has it, hands it over to Scott. Scott spins into the lane, stops, can't shoot, and throws it away.
Intended for Nate Clark, but Nate cut toward the baseline.
So turnover back to the Indians. They lead 27-26, 2 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Walker Throp will walk it across the timeline for the Indians. Now gets it left side, Morrison. Morrison puts it on the floor, drives all the way down, and he's fouled by Zach Jones. Foul on Zach will be his first. They will say that Morrison was in act shooting, so he'll get 2 free throws.
Well, the ball didn't go toward the bucket.
Morrison's free throw, good. Logan Bateman in for Drew Scott for Gate City. 28-26, DB leads, 1:48 to go here in the third quarter. Jeff Morrison now set for his second free throw. Hits on the way and is no good. Rebound, what do we got? Foul called on the rebound on the Indians. 14, Ryan Blackwell picks up the foul. Foul on Blackwell's his first. DB only 17 fouls in the game through 3 quarters, almost. Clark has it to McMurray. Jesse drives into the lane, has it tipped away, gets it over to Nate Clark. Nate back to McMurray. 28-26, DB leads, a minute and a half to go, third quarter. McMurray drives into the lane, stops, pops, scores. Jesse with his 4th point. We're tied at 28. The Indians have Morrison. Morrison guarded by Bateman. Morrison circles right side, outside the arc, and he'll ask for a timeout. 1:10 to go here in the third quarter. We're tied at 28. We'll be back to DB after this. 1:10 to go here in the third quarter. We're tied at 28. Gate City and Dobyns Bennett in the Buck Van Hust Dome.
Well, definitely not burning up the nets.
No, neither team. Both teams playing pretty good defense. That's got something to do with it. I'd say it's got a lot to do with it. DB has it. Morrison outside the arc. Morrison puts it on the floor. Drives, cut off, gets it to Tredipo. Shot up good, and he's fouled. Foul on Zach Jones will be his second. Tredipo gets the bucket, and he'll go to the line, trying to complete the 3-point play. 30-28, DB leads. 52 seconds to go, third quarter.
Tredipo, 6'3", 205 senior. Mentioned Harrison before at 6'4", he's 205, also a senior.
Tredipo's free throw, good. So DB leads by 3. Gate City has it. 45 seconds to go, third quarter. Nate Clark for Gate City has it. Right side. Gets it to McMurray. Launches a three. Shot good. Jesse McMurray with his first three of the night. We're tied at 31. 30 seconds to go. Third quarter. DB has it with Throp. Throp picks up his dribble, gets it right side Morrison. Morrison gets it down low to Harrison. Harrison leaves it off down low. Tritipo reverse layup good. Tritipo with the bucket. And now DB back on top by 2. 10 seconds to go. Clark across the timeline. Has it. Drives into the lane. Stops. Leaves it off down low. Jack Jones. Shot up. No good. Blocked away. Come down there with it. Tritipo. And that will be the end of the third quarter with the score. Dobyns Bennett 33. Gate City 31. Let's begin the fourth quarter here at Dobyns Bennett. The Indians lead 33-31, and it'll be the Blue Devils basketball to start the fourth and final quarter. Drew Scott, Jesse McMurray, Will Humphreys, Luke Humphreys, Logan Bateman on the floor for Gate City. McMurray has it, gets it left side, that is Bateman along the baseline. Humphreys back to McMurray for three. Shot no good. Humphreys can't pull down the rebound. Harrison over him for the rebound. So DB has it with a 2-point lead. Blackwell out front. Gets it left side to Morrison. Morrison puts it on the floor. Makes a spin move. Now gets it back out to Throp. Throp with it. Has it left side. Gets it down low. Shot up by Harrison. No good, but he's fouled. Foul will be on the Blue Devils. Number 10, Logan Bateman. Logan picks up his third. Thomas Harrison shooting 2 for DB. First is no good. So Harrison will have his second. Bateman, Luke Humphreys, Drew Scott, Will Humphreys all play with 3 fouls for the Blue Devils. The Indians, as I say, only 7 in the entire game have been called on the Indians. Harrison's second free throw. It is no good also. Rebound, Luke Humphreys. Devils trail by 2, 7:20 to go. McMurray has it. Gets it over to Will Humphreys. Will puts it on the floor, spins, and he's held by Tritipo. Foul on Tritipo's his first. And it's the team's... I can't make it out on the scoreboard. It's in light green, and we're broadcasting from somewhere in Lynn Garden, I think. It's a long way to the floor. Gate City has it. Gets it to Scott. Inbounds to Estep, who's checked in. McMurray now swinging around Luke Humphreys. Back to Scott. Scott to Jesse. McMurray has it outside the arc. He's guarded by Throp. Gets it over to Scott. Scott has it out front.
3 team fouls on DB, 8 on Gate City.
Here's Scott's jumper, misses everything. Harrison catches it. This is Throp with it in front court for the Indians. 6:40 to go. Gate City trailing 33-31. Throp has it and gets it to Harrison along the baseline. Harrison can't shoot. He loses control. Knocked out of his hands, actually. Harrison runs it down, gets it to Blackwell. Blackwell with it outside the arc. Here's Harrison driving along the baseline. Shot up, no good. Tritipo's put back, no good. He's fouled. Foul will be on the Blue Devils. And that's 22, Drew Scott. Drew picks up his fourth. Tritipo's first free throw up, and no good. Score remains 33-31. That's what it was at the end of the quarter. And we've played 1 minute and 42 seconds here in the fourth quarter. Neither team scores. Tritipo's second free throw, it too's no good. Rebound, Estep had a hand on it though, coming out there with it, Morrison. Morrison gets it to Tritipo, back to Morrison. Morrison puts it on the floor, drives in the lane. His scoop shot up, no good. Tip up by Tritipo's good. Tritipo with a nice tip. The Indians with their biggest lead of the night at 4, 35-31. McMurray for Gate City gets it to Humphreys, and he's fouled by Tritipo. Tritipo's his second, team's fourth. Dave Begley set to check in for the Indians for Tritipo. 5:56 to go. Gate City trails 35-31 to the Indians. Nate Clark, the inbound. Clark has trouble getting it in. Now gets it in. Stolen away, though. Stolen away by Creech. Creech gets it ahead to Throp. Throp pull-up jumper off the glass. No good. Rebound. Morrison skies for it. Morrison shot up. No good. Tipped around. Coming out there with it for the Blue Devils. Estep. Estep gets it over to Clark. Clark long lead pass in front court to Luke Humphries. Luke holds it up. Gets it back to Estep. Estep has it to McMurray. McMurray right side with it. Will Humphries back to McMurray. Now to Luke Humphries. Luke picks up his dribble and throws it away. Morrison steals it.
Tried to feed it into Will.
So Morrison off the steal, gets it to Creech, left side Throp. Wide open for the three, shot good. Walker Throp for three. And the Indians lead now by 7, 5 minutes to go. And we'll have a timeout asked for by the Blue Devils. They trail by 7. It'll be a 30-second timeout.
And the Indians have scored 5.
And that makes it 38-31 DB. 4:59 to go. And Gate City with it. Luke Humphries gets it into McMurray. McMurray has it. Now out front, Luke Humphries. Luke gets it back to Bateman. And what are we going to have? Foul called on the Blue Devils. Illegal screen. I believe Luke Humphries might be the guilty party. It is. Foul on Luke's his fourth. So it'll be 10 team fouls, so it'll be 2 shots from here on out on every Gate City foul. Jamie Creech will be shooting the 2 this time for the Indians. And Creech's first is up and no good. Indians doing the Blue Devils a favor by missing a bunch of free throws. Creech's second free throw is good. So it's 39-31. Gate City needs to score here. Trailing by 8, 4:40 to go. Jesse McMurray has it, gets it out on top between the rings. That's Nate Clark. Clark puts it on the floor, drives in the lane, gets Creech up, leans in, shot no good, rebound Harrison. And he's bumped and fouled by either Will or Luke Humphries.
That's the 8th rebound by Harrison.
It's Luke Humphries, and Luke will foul out. So Luke fouls out, scoring 2 points tonight for Gate City. It's 39-31.
Jones will check in for Luke.
And Thomas Harrison will be shooting 2 for the Indians. Harrison's free throw on the way, and it's no good.
It could have been a whole lot more than 8-point lead for DB.
Yeah, if they'd hit half for free throws, but they haven't, so that's just the way it is. Harrison misses another. He's a pretty good free throw shooter, too, but he's missed 5 in a row now. 6 out of the last 7. Blue Devils with it. Have it,